Prospect time with MLBpipeline.com's Jim Callis, fresh off a trip to Arizona to see the Arizona Fall League rosters and all the budding talent in the organizations. And before we get to the game and to the Arizona Fall League itself, let's backtrack for a moment. September, we saw some big call-ups. Who stood out to you?
Well, two guys who really stood out to me were Walker Buehler and Francisco Mejia. Buehler is a right-hand pitcher in the Dodgers. First-round pick a couple years ago, had Tommy John surgery almost immediately after he was drafted. They knew that when they took him, that he had an injured elbow. And the amazing thing with him was he had good stuff and a lot of polish. Really liked him as a prospect before he got hurt. He came back, he still has the polish. All of a sudden, he's pushing 100 miles an hour at times. Both his breaking balls, his curveball and slider, have a lot more power to him. The changeup's harder. He's rocketed after barely pitching at all in pro ball before this year, all the way up to AAA, made it up to the big leagues in September. I think this guy could crack the rotation next year. He's just that talented. And I know, obviously, the Dodgers' very good team. I think he pushes his way into that rotation somehow, by midseason, if not earlier. Francisco Mejia is one of the better hitters in the minor leagues. He made news in 2016 with a 50-game hitting streak. Continued to hit this year in AA. Also has a cannon arm. He's a catcher. He's still working on the receiving. And the Indians, I think, like what Robert Perez and Yan Gomes give him receiving-wise, and to that end, they've been working Francisco Mejia out at third base in the Arizona Fall League. I think they really want to get his bat in their lineup. So I'm not sure if it'll be a catcher, if it'll be a third, maybe it'll be some combination of both. But I think we're going to see Francisco Mejia in Cleveland pretty quick next year.
We're going to see him 8 o'clock Eastern on Saturday in the Fall Stars game, and obviously there have been some big names with big performances in that game. Gary Sanchez, Cody Bellinger, Greg Bird. These are players that can make an impact just months later in Major League Baseball. I want to do it this way, based on tools, which we always grade, and we look at prospects and we slice and dice in the Arizona Fall League. Can we pick out, for example, the best hitter that you saw?
Yeah, that would be Luis Urias of the Padres. He might be the best pure hitter in the minor leagues. I mean, this is a guy, he won a batting title in California last year at age 19, high Class A. This year he led the AA Texas League on base percentage at 20. He just has a very controlled swing, makes a lot of line drive contact. He always walks more than he's struck out. I don't think he's hit less than 297 in any of his 4 pro seasons. He's hitting about 350 in the Fall League. This guy's going to hit. Could wind up as short, could be second, depending on what the Padres want to do with him. But wherever they play him, this guy's going to hit, and he'll probably contend for batting titles in a couple of years.
And no relation to Julio, right?
No relation to Julio.
Just making sure. Okay, best power hitter. Go ahead.
I'll go with Ronald Acuna. And really, if we're talking about tools, you could pick Ronald Acuna for almost anything in Arizona Fall League, or really in baseball. This guy might be the best prospect in baseball. I think he definitely has the most well-rounded tools in baseball. Scott, he won 2 minor leaguers this year with 20 homers and 40 steals. He's just starting to come into his power. He's only 19. He went from high Class A to AAA at age 19 this year. I think this guy's going to be an easy 30 home run hitter when he's in his prime. He's going to steal a bunch of bases. He's a potential Gold Glover in center field. He's got a really strong arm, and he's going to hit for average. There's nothing this guy can't do. He's definitely a guy you want to watch in that Fall Stars game tomorrow.
And I've been told those measurables are a little favorable towards him at 6 feet tall, could be 5'10". I mean, it doesn't matter how big you are. Jose Altuve obviously proven that to us in the World Series. Let's stay in the power department, but power pitching. Let me see who's the best power guy that you saw, pitcher-wise.
Well, I think the best fastball belongs to Mitch Keller, and I think he's pretty much the best pitching prospect out there. He's the most highly rated pitching prospect out there. He's a Pirates right-hander, and it's not just velocity. I mean, he can run it up to 98, and he'll sit 93, 96. What I like about the fastball, besides the velocity, Scott, is it's got some late life to it, and when he keeps it down the zone, it's almost impossible to do anything with. He commands it well, so it's not just a guy who goes out and throws 100 miles an hour necessarily, but doesn't know where it's going. This guy's got velocity, life, command, places it really well at the bottom of the strike zone. He's got the whole package.
MLBpipeline.com's Jim Callis, who will be back in Arizona very soon, and that Fall Stars game, 8 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. Jim, thank you.